What is up YouTube, James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today, we have the Mega Tyranitar team once again with Mega Tyranitar, Gyarados, Aegislash, Rotom Heat, Tapu Lele, and Lurantis. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, highly recommend go checking them out. But right now, let's get started and play some games. Hopefully this team can do some work. Tyranitar being able to do a lot of work yesterday. Lurantis did some good work in the first game. Second game it went down immediately, so we'll see if the team has got what it takes. But we'll find out eventually. I'm still pretty new to the team. I haven't been able to test as much because of the fact that Worlds is the weekend I'm playing right now, and yeah, I had to get a lot of videos ready. My opponent's going to bring the team of Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Landis-Varian, Tapu Fini, Incineroar, and Kartana. I feel like I played my opponent before. Like, I'm very confident I played my opponent before. I don't want to bring Tyranitar. I think Tyranitar is pretty poor here. Like, Tyranitar only hits Cresselia, really, and Incineroar, I guess. But otherwise doesn't do much. I like Gyarados. I like Lurantis. By the way, my team hates Kartana. I have, like, so many texts for Kartana. It's actually ridiculous how many texts I have for Kartana. Let's go with Lurantis. Lurantis Gyarados, I think. Yeah, Lurantis Gyarados. We have Rotom Heat and Aegislash. I was thinking of also leading Aegislash, but I think Gyarados is fine here as a lead, because if my opponent does decide to lead physical attackers, I'll just be able to intimidate. Because my opponent's got like 3, potentially 4 physical attackers, depending on what kind of Landers variant set it is. And Incineroar, Kartana, and Kangaskhan are always, usually you'll primarily see them as physical attackers. Landers could be either physical or special on this team. So yeah, it's also going to come down to what kind of Landers set this is. And my opponent doesn't really have a great way of dealing with Gyarados, because Gyarados, there's no electric type attack on my opponent's team unless my opponent does have like some kind of tech move. We'll find out though. But Lurantis is really good in this matchup. That's all I know. And that's all I need to know. We're going to see the Kangaskhan Cresselia lead. Aegislash was actually a fine lead, as we will lead my Lurantis plus Gyarados here. No reason to Dragon Dance. I feel like the play I do want to make is just swap out Gyarados, probably out into my Aegislash. Aegislash would do some great work here and just protect my Lurantis. Yeah, because I don't want to take unnecessary damage. My opponent could use this opportunity to switch out, but I'm not exactly too sure if you're going to make that play. I just think that going out into my... my Aegislash is fine here, because Aegislash is not really threatened by these two Pokemon. I really wonder what kind of Cresselia set this is, because I can't remember. Because I feel like I have played my opponent before. I just can't remember sets. We'll bring out the Aegislash here and protect Lurantis. Very safe play. My opponent can double in the Aegislash. Won't do anything. Kangaskhan's going to Mega Evolve, so most likely won't be able to touch my Aegislash afterward. Let's see what my opponent's techs are. It might be Fire Punch Kang. I do remember it may be potentially a Fire Punch. We got to check. Fake Out going to come out into Lurantis, which makes sense. And we're going to see Icy Wind. Calm Mind. Okay, so it's a Calm Mind variant. Okay. That is scary, but I do have Never-Ending Nightmare, and Never-Ending Nightmare can knock out a +1 Cresselia. It doesn't knock out +2. But yeah, I'll go for the superpower here. And I do have Toxic for the Cresselia. I could also set up Substitute here. I kind of want to go for Toxic in the Cresselia. The reason I want to go for Toxic in the Cresselia is because I don't want to waste my Z move just yet. And in case Cresselia goes for another Calm Mind, I feel like it's good here. We're going to see the switch out from the Kangaskhan into Tapu Fini, which is fine, because I do get Toxic off into the Cresselia slot. The question is, I think it goes for Psychic here, so I could have just went for the Never-Ending Nightmare. A Psyshock going to come out into the Lurantis, okay? Psyshock means that it most likely won't be able to beat my Lurantis immediately, as we do get Toxic off into the Cresselia. Moonblast probably does proc a Berry on Lurantis. Yeah, it probably does proc a Berry. I don't know if Specs would knock me out. That's the question. Would this be Specs? I think it'd be Waterium, if anything. I think this would be Waterium. Or it could be Grassium on the Kartana, I guess. Because I feel like if you Calm Mind, you should have a way to immediately knock out Incineroar, because that's the biggest threat to Calm Mind Cresselia usually. We'll go for the Leaf Blade into the Fini. And I guess we'll just go for a Never-Ending Nightmare and a Cresselia. If I can get rid of Cresselia now, that's pretty big, because that's one Pokemon I don't have to worry about. Psyshock. Ooh, I didn't expect the Psyshock to come out afterward. Oh, I didn't think Cresselia was faster than Fini. That was a miscalculation. So I'm going to lose my Lurantis right off. Not the best. That's not the worst, I guess. We'll get an Every Nightmare off, knock out the Cresselia at least. Because I'm pretty sure even after the Calm Mind, like max special attack, and Every Nightmare should be able to finish it off. That's unfortunate. I should have protected Lurantis. But I didn't want Feeny to go for like a free Calm Mind or anything. So, yeah. That was a mistake on my part. Now Every Nightmare. We still have Rotom though. Rotom can do some big damage to the Feeny, but the problem is if it's Voltarium. So, we do get a Never Nightmare off. We'll knock out the Cresselia. That's good. I guess a critical hit, I don't think it matters. Especially with the extra poison damage that it took earlier. We'll bring out the Rotom Heat. I mean, Tapu Fini took a bit of damage. It didn't take much, though. I don't know if Fini's going to go for Calm Mind or not. That's a big question, too. Is it worth playing aggressive with Aegis Slash? That's the thing. Because I could go for like a Shadow Ball into the Tapu Fini slot and just protect my Rotom. Because I think Kangaskhan comes out here. I don't see a reason not to bring out Kangaskhan for that fake out pressure. If it's Kartana, I'm pretty happy about that because Kartana can't touch my Pokemon. Yeah, it's Kartana. Okay, beautiful. Not really threatened by that Pokemon, so I'll bring out the Rotom here. And I feel like it's Hydro Vortex into one of my Pokemon. I just don't know which one it is going to be. If you target Aegis Slash, I guess it's alright. I think I'm going to Shadow Ball. I want to put the Fini in range of Thunderbolt potentially. I think it is worth going for a Shadow Ball into the Tapu Fini slot because I don't think you're going to Hydro Vortex Aegis Slash when it could go for King Shield potentially here. I wonder what the Kartana's going to do. It can't really do much. Maybe it's going to go for a Sacred Sword to put me in Muddy Water range, I guess. Maybe you could just go Sacred Sword, Muddy Water, which I think I'd be fine with. You could go for a Tailwind here. Tailwind would be probably the worst case scenario for me. But I think I'd still be okay. Because I'd get a Shadow Ball off in the Fini, and then I could just switch on to Gyarados the following turn. We're going to see the Kartana actually double out, so Kangaskhan's coming back in. Okay. Not a bad play for me. Let's see if Fini protects. It does protect. Okay. So I wasted my Protect, which is not good. Protect Rotom. Yeah, that's not good. I just gotta find a way around this Fini. If I get around this Fini, I feel pretty good. We definitely go Gyarados here. Do I Shadow Ball or do I King Shield? Because I'm worried about Hydro Vortex this turn. I kind of want to go aggressive. I will go aggressive here, actually. I'll go aggressive here. I'll risk it. Because even... Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, if you Sucker Punch my Aegis Slash, go for Hydro Vortex into the Gyarados slot, I think I'm fine. I could get a Dragon Dance off here with Gyarados, I think, because of my Berry. So let's see here what my opponent's going to do. Fake Out going to come out into the Rotom slot, which is perfect. And then let's see what my opponent does. Muddy Water, I'm guessing. It is Voltarium. Okay, who is it targeting? Is it targeting down my Rotom, or is it targeting down my... Oh, this is going to be close. This endgame's close now. Maybe I should have King Shielded. I am worried if this did target down my Aegis Slash. Oh, targeting down my Rotom. Okay, that works beautifully in my favor then. Ooh, Gyarados took a lot from that, actually. Shadow Ball going to come out, so I do get the damage onto Tapu Fini that I need. Oh, that's pretty big. That's absolutely big. Yeah. Missy Terrain. Trying to think. What's the ideal endgame scenario? I think Kangaskhan could switch out into the Kartana here. I don't know if you attack Aegis Slash this turn. I get King Shield, but I feel like you might... I mean, Gyarados is not the threat. You know what? I'll King Shield with Aegis Slash, because my opponent can't knock out Aegis Slash anymore. And I don't think Gyarados will go down to double target. Maybe if it's double edge, maybe. But even if it's double edge Kangaskhan, I think I'm still in a fine position regardless. Let's see what my opponent goes for. Sucker Punch into the Aegis Slash. Okay. I don't think Moonblast knocks out my Gyarados, because Gyarados has good special defense. Gyarados has some really good special defense. So, Gyarados Dragon Dance up. As Moonblast going to come out, does target down my Gyarados slot. How much does it do? Yeah, not enough. Perfect. And I can just go for a Shadow Ball into the Tapu Fini slot and protect. Because my opponent can't knock out Aegis Slash. I guess, I don't know, there are a lot of places my opponent could make Sucker Punch protect with Fini. But we're going to see the Kangaskhan switch out. I do have Fire Blast on my Gyarados for the Kartana. So, are we gonna get Fire Blast potentially? I think we win against Kangaskhan if we get Aegislash solo it. I think he's just gonna protect. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna Fire Blast the Kartana. I have no reason not to. I don't really need Gyarados in this endgame scenario. And I'm just gonna Shadow Ball to Feeny. Yeah, I think that's the play. I hope we hit the Fire Blast because it's the first Fire Blast I'm ever going for with this Gyarados. The idea is to hit Kartana. It does not got any kind of Kartana that's not Focus Sash or Assault Vest. Because I do have a special attack investment in this Gyarados. 2 KO the standard spread that lives like Tapu Koko Gigavolt Havoc. So, come on, Gyarados. Fire Blast. It connects. It's Assault Vest Kartana. Leaf Blade gonna come out. Into the Gyarados. Does finish me off. Beast Boost will activate, and it will be a Muddy Water coming out. Ooh, Aegislash of Voice, which is huge, actually. We will get a Shadow Ball off. Ah, it doesn't knock out Feeny. Well, I guess that's fine. I get to go Rotom here. Ooh, there's some... Okay, this got really close. I didn't actually think the... I didn't think it was the Assault Vest Kartana, and I didn't think the Feeny would live. I could overheat the Kartana. I kind of want a King Shield with Aegislash. I just don't know. Does the Kartana carry knockoff? That's the big question. I think I want to sub here, because I don't think you go for knockoff in the Aegislash immediately. Because I could double protect here. We're going to see the protect come out from the Feeny, which makes sense. It does go for a knockoff. I hope this is in the Rotom. Yeah, it's in the Rotom. Good. Thunderbolt into the protect. I could have just overheated the Kartana, though. Like, overheating Kartana would have been really good here. Yeah, I think it's still fine, though. Because I can just double protect here. It looks like my opponent has no intention to switch out. Yeah, and if you have no intention to switch out, that's good for me. So we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. I think the game comes down to, do I hit a Toxic later? Okay, let's see what my opponent does. Gonna be King Shield coming out. Okay, that Muddy Water Mist might have saved me because that actually is a really big knockoff in a Rotom. Surprised it's knockoff in a Rotom. The reason I'm surprised it's knockoff in a Rotom is because Sacred Sword would do more. I'm not sure. Let's see. Shadow Ball the card slot because I need to get the end game to where I can Toxic the Feeny. Feeny gonna protect, which is fine because I think that loses my opponent the game now. So yeah. Okay, perfect. Rotom gonna go down, which I'm completely fine with. Because I feel like if anything, you needed I feel like you needed Feeny to get a Muddy Water outbreak my sub, and then you needed to get like the accuracy drop. Because yeah, at least it becomes a 50-50 with Cart and Aegislash. No, it doesn't even become a 50-50. I think you could just go on a Kang, Sucker Punch Aegislash, and Sacred Sword your own Kang. Yeah, because he would break my sub. You had the boost with Kartana. I have to King Shield. I probably have to rely on a double King Shield at that point. So let's see what my opponent's going to bring out. Well, it has to be Kang. I mean, I might as well just go into Shield form. I don't want my opponent getting free Calm Minds up though, so I'm just going to Toxic. As you're going to Sucker Punch. Probably. Unless you have Fire Punch. Don't be Fire Punch as the last move. Don't be Fire... Well, if it's Fire Punch as the last move, that's game. I don't remember my opponent had Fire Punch though, but I feel like if my opponent kept clicking Sucker Punch, yeah, it's like the only move he can touch me with. Yes, it did go for Calm Mind. Perfect. So this play allows me to hit 2 Toxics in the Feeny. I just need to hit 1 out of 2. If I hit the first one, I just win. Nice. Okay, that's game. Sub-Toxic Aegislash putting in some work for this first game. Yeah, it looks like the Muddy Water risk, I guess, doesn't matter now since I never got to the point. But I feel like I could have changed the earlier parts in the game. Maybe it would have forced my opponent to make some different plays. But yeah, this ended up working beautifully in my favor. I don't even see the need for the Calm Mind. I guess maybe my opponent was worried Muddy Water would break the sub or wanted to go for Moonblast to break my sub instead. But even then, yeah, like the match is going to be forfeited. I had no reason not to go for Toxic. And we will be able to pick up a win for the first game. So very nice. Substitute Aegislash putting in a ton of work right there. Unfortunately, the Gyarados not able to knock out the Kartana with Assault Vest. I think I do remember it being Assault Vest though, so that's kind of on my bad. Man, I would have loved to just... Woo! Who wanted to see the Fire Blast just knock out the Kartana? I certainly did. That's what I was going for. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, so... You know what? It's what it is what it is. But yeah, I have like a lot of text because Kartana is not exactly a fun Pokemon. Like, Kartana looks decent against my team, and then you realize I have Hidden Power Fire on Lele, I have a Rotom Heat with Overheat, Aegislash kind of counters it, Superpower on Lurantis, I have Fire Blast on the Gyarados. Like, I have a lot of text for Kartana because Kartana is a Pokemon that can just steamroll through my team if played correctly, which is why I felt like I need so many Pokemon to deal with the Kartana. Because Kartana is a very scary Pokemon for me to deal with in general. But let's see if we're going to be able to pick up a win in the second game. Hopefully Tyranitar gets to be brought in, because I feel like Tyranitar will be brought in because Tyranitar is a pretty good Mega Evolution. Like, overall, I feel like it's definitely useful in a lot of games. I feel like against Kangaskhan Kartana, though, like, Tyranitar's not the call, especially in that matchup, because Double Intimidate was annoying. Yeah. Actually, did my opponent even bring an Intimidate Mon? I don't think my opponent did. No, we saw Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Tapu Fini, and Kartana. So opted for no Intimidate at all. No Intimidate at all. I wonder if... No, Tyranitar might have been able to put in some work, but it wouldn't have done much otherwise, because it was always directed by Low Kick. Sacred Sword, Hydro Vortex, even Haze from Tapu Fini would have been annoying to deal with. So yeah, I don't think it would have been the call. But it's taking quite a while to find our second game for today's episode, so we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode. Alright, a 1468 rated player from Japan as our second opponent of today. Some really interesting Pokemon though. Sylveon, Tapu Fini, Incineroar, Serena, Snorlax, and Cresselia. So, pretty interesting team overall. Lurantis is good in this matchup, so is my Aegislash. I like leading Aegislash plus Lurantis. Do I like Sylveon? Man, I don't think I get to bring Tyranitar in this game either. It doesn't have good switch-ins to this team. I like Gyarados a lot. And I guess maybe I could set up Light Screen for my Lurantis. I don't know. What do I value more? Getting Toxic off against my opponent's team? Otherwise, Lele is pretty good. But it's pretty bad at the same time, too. Or do I value Light Screen, so maybe Lurantis hangs around a bit longer? Also, I really didn't bring much for Serena. I like having Toxic, but I have a Lurantis, and that's the way I'm probably going to win this game. So, yeah. How come every team I brought Lurantis with, it's done amazingly? Like, the Mega Ampharos team, we used Lurantis. Lurantis was pretty good. We're bringing Lurantis again, and it's putting in a ton of work. Unfortunately, I don't feel like Tyranitar just... Because we haven't faced, like... We haven't faced anything that Tyranitar likes. Like, we haven't faced a lot of the common Zapdos, Metagross. I couldn't stop facing Metagross earlier today. Like, I couldn't stop facing Metagross Lele earlier today when I streamed. There was, Charizards, like, any of those. Salamence, even. Like, those are Pokemon I want to bring. Like, I want to see. Incineroar's going to lead with Cresselia. Okay. If you Trick Room here, that's a really bad spot for you. I might as well just go out into the Gyarados. Protect my Lurantis. Yeah, I think that this is the play. I feel like you do have to get Trick Room up against me, but maybe my opponent doesn't Trick Room. I feel like he might just double up my Lurantis slot. I think just getting Gyarados in is very safe here because Gyarados is going to be able to get intimidated off into this Incineroar. Let's see what my opponent decides to do here as we will protect our Lurantis. And Flare Blitz. Are you actually going for Trick Room here? Wow, my opponent went for Trick Room. Okay, I'm just going to Superpower that slot. Unless it's Ally Switch coming out. But even if it's Ally Switch, I don't think I really mind too much. Do I want to get Toxic off on anything? Or bring out my Aegislash for a reason? I could Dragon Dance here pretty safely. But, I mean, Dragon Dance doesn't really cover much. I could Waterfall in case the Incineroar decides to switch out. I mean, in case there is an Ally Switch. I think I will just Superpower and Waterfall. I don't want Ally Switch coming out. It's Helping Hand. Okay. I mean, I'm going to have the physical defense boost. You're intimidated. And the fact is, I think this just knocks out. This should just knock out. Yeah, Incineroar goes down. Really surprising. My opponent just allowed me to get that knockout to Incineroar immediately, so I am going to be just pick up a knockout immediately. Waterfall going to come out. I'm +2 attack now. I'm feeling pretty good about my spot. We'll probably see maybe Snorlax come out. Snorlax will be scary. Sylveon comes out. I feel like +2 Leaf Blade should be able to knock out. I think Aegislash is a pretty safe switch in, and Leaf Blade? What's my opponent trying to go for? I am a little bit concerned about Sylveon because if it does have like a Hyper Beam or something, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble. Because if it knocks out Lurantis, I'm in a bit of trouble. I don't want Sylveon to get a sub or Calm Mind. I'm thinking of protecting here because if I get Aegislash in, I could maybe get 2 potential knockouts. I'm gonna Leaf Blade here. If it's Ally Switch, I don't think my opponent can knock out Lurantis. And if it's Helping Hand, I'm just hoping +2 Leaf Blade does knock out Sylveon. Sylveon doesn't have the best physical defense in the world, which is why I think this play is worth it. Leaf Blade, oh, that did nothing. But Hyper Voice is not going to do much since it is bulky. Yeah, it didn't do much. Okay, sweet. Ice Beam going to come out. I should be able to proc Berry, though. Nice. Wonder what this item on the Sylveon is. Imagine Breakneck Blitz was affected by like the Pixelate and other abilities, so that would be sweet. I'm really surprised that Leaf Blade didn't do as much though. I am +2, right? Yeah, I am +2. That Sylveon's really bulky. I guess we'll just Shadow Ball or Never Ending Nightmare because we can pick up 2 knockouts here potentially, and even if my opponent goes for Ally Switch, this works out in my favor. Yeah. So I'm just gonna Superpower to Sylveon. I think Superpower will knock out. I want to say Superpower knocks out. Maybe I should have Leaf Blade again. Maybe I shouldn't risk this. But it does knock out Sylveon. Okay, my damage calc wasn't off in my head. It wasn't off in my head, okay? Sylveon goes down. And Every Nightmare just gonna finish off to Cresselia. Okay. And Sylveon couldn't knock me out unless there was again a Hyper Beam, but I still like you would have to recharge. I get a knockout into Cresselia. Like I'm still in a pretty good spot regardless, so Never Ending Nightmare gonna come out, target down this Cresselia, and then it's gonna be a 4v1, and it comes down to my opponent's last Pokemon here. Like Lurantis was just able to sweep under Trick Room. I'm really surprised my opponent just went for the Trick Room right there. Maybe didn't expect Incineroar to go down to this Superpower right away, but yeah, just able to pick up a knockout. As Cresselia will go down, and we'll see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. Snorlax. If it's Snorlax, I just hard switch into Gyarados and click Superpower. Yep, Snorlax is gonna come out because I do have what +2 defense now. Yeah, I should live anything from the Snorlax. We'll go Gyarados here. We'll go for the Superpower. I don't think my opponent can win. Aegislash will switch out into the Gyarados. Like overall, how I thought this game was, I was gonna have to play really defensive with my Lurantis. I thought I'd be able to get Gyarados in. I might have had to switch out Lurantis at one point in the game, but I could always set up. I was thinking of maybe getting a double out with Lurantis. Lurantis able to survive the crit return there as Superpower. Just knocks out the Snorlax, and that would be a good game. So, overall, able to pick up a win, which is really nice. That's... Did we lose the first one? No, we won the first one, right? Yeah, we won the first one. So, able to pick up 2 wins in today's episode. And yeah, just Lurantis put in so much work. The matches weren't really great for Tyranitar. Like, Tyranitar didn't exactly have a great place. Also, did my opponent's team even have a Mega? I don't think my opponent's team had a Mega. But able to pick up a win, which is really nice here. 2 wins. This team's on a row so far. Hopefully, it can continue going that way. Tyranitar, not being able to do the work in this episode. But then again, I do think we'll find a lot of episodes where Tyranitar can do a lot of work. Because Tyranitar, it's a really good Pokemon. Don't take my word for it yet because you haven't seen it for yourself, but I think it's a really good Pokemon. But we'll be right back with the next episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. You will have to wait for it though. It will be coming out tomorrow as always. But thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. Shows your support, as well as you can check out the comment section down below. And feel free to leave a comment as I do read them. But you can check out the description for size years on my channel, streaming on Twitch, even though it's probably going to be a light week on Twitch right now because of the fact that I am I'm basically just trying to settle into college probably right now as you're watching this. I will probably just be going back to streaming, and I'll probably have a set streaming schedule soon. I'll let you all know. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Twitch for when that schedule comes. But otherwise, that is pretty much it. Have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.